Hi guys, my name is Callum Leslie, Executive Chef for the Black Swan at Oldstead and the Abbey Inn at Byland. I'm going to talk you through my really quick recipe, one of my favourite ways of preparing pheasants in probably about 10-15 minutes. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is just break the pheasant down. What I personally like to start is by just scoring the skin on the legs either side. And you just want to pop that just out of its joint there. And then come right along the backbone here. Making sure you're just getting all the meat that's left here. This is where the oyster is, basically. So you just want to come right down the back of it. That's got like a nice leg there. Just do exactly the same process, just on the other side. So that's just your two legs there, put them together. The legs are really nice for braising. We normally brine them overnight in the restaurant and then just slowly confit them in a little bit of beef fat or chicken fat or kind of oil, whatever you've got kind of cooking sitting around at home. Braise them for 4 or 5 hours, make a really lovely stew or anything like that. Next, what I like to do is just remove, like basically this is just going to be the backbone of the bird. Just going to cut straight through that like that. Again, we keep all of those. It seems a shame to waste it. Make really lovely stocks and stuff like that. Just roast them all off, onions, carrots, celery, and then just simmer for a few hours. You've got yourself a little game stock that you can then, you can even poach your legs in that, and it's really nice for adding additional flavour. It's like a casserole or a stew or anything like that, really. Then obviously this is what you'd call the crown of the bird. So the two breasts. I think something that a lot of people probably don't do at home, but it's something that I always encourage everyone to do, is just, if you pull the skin back there, you see the wishbone? I just like to get my knife and just scrape just against the skin, like that, to remove the wishbone, and then I like to just go with my knife behind it, come straight down, and just cut through the knuckle there. And you should, if you've done this properly, basically be able to just get the wishbone out whole, just like that, and then you're just left with the crown now. So when we come to carve it, you can cut right through here, so you're not wasting any of that meat, basically. So I'm just going to do that now. Come straight down. And what I'm going to do is just cut through the joint here. Left with this lovely pheasant breast. There's just so much meat on this, it's absolutely amazing. So you'd kind of be missing out on all this bit here if you didn't take that wishbone out, so it's just super important to do so. Just take this little bit off here, the kind of shoulder blade part of it. Again, we just reserve that for the stock in the restaurant. Got these lovely mini fillets here. Just remove that. Let's take a little bit of trimming up these. They've got a little bit of sinew you can see there just running throughout. I kind of just like to take it off about there because that's where the main bulk of the sinew is. And that can just be reserved there. You've got a lovely little like kind of mini fillet. Any little bits of shot damage you can kind of just scrape off like that as well. Personally, I like to remove the skin off the pheasant as well. I'm not a huge fan of the skins, and they can be quite shot sometimes as well. So it's I personally would just take that and discard it. But for this, we're just going to basically cut it down into little strips, just so we get a nice, quick, like deep fried pheasant goujon. Just cut them into like a pretty similar. Again, just looking out for any little bits of sinew like that. Pheasant can dry out quite quickly, and don't want it going chewing. Like just removing little bits of sinew like that, just make all the difference really. So, again, if there's any shot damage, just cut around that. It's absolutely fine. And then this bit here, quite a lot of shot damage, so I'd probably just put that straight into the stock. It'd be fine to go in the stock. And then we're just going to repeat the process just on the other side of the breast. Yeah, so what we've got here, obviously the pheasant breast we prepped earlier. All we're literally going to do is just pop in a little bit of buttermilk. Yogurt is also fine to use if you don't have any buttermilk at home. No, most people probably don't, so that's fine. Just make sure it's fully coated, really. Really nicely tenderises the pheasant breast. So once they're nicely like kind of covered in there, so I'm just going to go in there. Any excess buttermilk, just shake that off. And then we're just going to put it into, this is just a mixture of a little bit of plain flour. We've got a little bit of semolina in there for texture, that's very optional. A little bit of salt and pepper in there, and then we've just got a little bit of fermented chili powder that we used from the farm. You guys at home could just use anything like smoked paprika, use dried onion powder, dried garlic powder, kind of whatever you want really. You can make it as spicy or as plain as you'd like really. Then we're just going to roll them round in this just so they're nicely coated. Let them sit for 5 minutes, maybe roll them back through the coating, and then we'll just deep fry them. You don't necessarily have to deep fry them, you could bake them in the oven if you want a little bit of a healthier option, or air frying them would also work perfectly. Obviously we're in a kitchen here, so we like to fry them, really nice quick cook on them. You could also shallow fry them as well if you wanted, just in a pan on the side if you were that way inclined, but I personally prefer to deep fry them, and you just get a really nice kind of even caramelisation and cooking on them. And then yeah, so what I'll do is I'll just kind of go back through, just toss a little bit more on there, just make sure they're really nicely coated. Kind of pack them in your hands like that. A little bit of a messy job this one, but I think it's worth it. It's super tasty, super quick, super easy, and you can have some pheasant breast defrosted or whatever, and within 15 minutes been eating basically fried chicken, so it's yeah, super tasty. So we're just gonna pop these just gently in the fryer now. 2.5 minutes to cook them. Yes, they're crisping up really nicely now. Give them another minute or so. So I'm just going to lift these out now. Just let that excess oil drain off. And then what I've got here is just a little bit of honey and a little bit of the fermented chili powder, or again, you put a little bit of smoked paprika in with some honey. Brings nice sweetness to the gameness of the pheasant. Just pop them in there. That flour's already really nicely seasoned up, so I'm not actually going to add any additional seasoning to these. This thing is going to roll them round, make sure they're really nicely covered in that honey. So on the plate, we're just going to start with a little bit of homemade kimchi. This is just cabbage that's been salted with a little bit again of the fermented chili that just runs through this. You can buy loads of really nice like kind of kimchis from supermarkets these days. It has a lovely sour flavour to it, obviously with the heat and the sweetness coming through, just like a really nice addition. I'm going to put a couple of these on there. Just like that. And then we've just got these homemade pickled cucumber. So really nice thing to be able to do. So these are just cucumbers sliced really thin. We take the seeds out. There's a lot of moisture in the seeds and not actually that much flavour. So we just take the seeds out and we just basically pickle it in quite a sweet pickle. So we just do 1 part sugar, 1 part water, and 1 part vinegar. Very nice and straightforward. So 100 mils of water, 100 mils of sugar, and 100 mils of just a standard white wine vinegar is absolutely fine. And then we literally just chop them really thin, and then just leave them there for about a week before we use them to take on all that you know, acidity, and just brings a real nice kind of texture. I'm just going to now finish the dish with just a little bit of yoghurt as well. And it's quite a spicy little dredge this. A little bit of yoghurt just to cut through it goes quite a long way. And yes, that's a little kind of 5-10 minute dish, really easy, super tasty with locally shot pheasant.